So if Gears doesn't launches without one, I wouldn't be surprised to find out when it was in pre-production, even early production, that they were looking for that element too. It's just not sustainable. Call of Duty is one of the kings of that market. They're going to keep printing money that way. Fortnite, all that, but
Phil
you
said he
can't
didn't want that to be annual anymore.
active, which is that's
It's
fine
Call
with
of
me.
Duty.
Yeah,
He didn't have an issue with the pay model. He had an issue with the frequency with which they're releasing the games because they've got those studios that are different studios all under the same name releasing content rapid fire. And he said that every year in November cadence is causing them not to create clear and concise product and not be able to innovate. I think was his points.
For all the bad that Xbox is like people are saying they're doing, like if you look at Toys for Bob, one of the reasons why Toys for Bob wanted to leave Microsoft and become their own independent studio is because under Activision they were forced to work on Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Activision didn't let them work on the games that they wanted to, and Phil told Toys for Bob, "You are free to work on the next Spyro or whatever." If anything went wrong with Call of Duty, who do you think is going to be the first studio that gets all hands on deck call up? And it was that reason. And I love the fact that Microsoft did allow them to leave in an amicable way. And then they actually made a deal together to keep those games coming and allow them to still work on it. So Microsoft does do some good stuff. It's just everyone likes to highlight the bad. As he was saying, Powerboss was saying, the lineup for Xbox for the rest of this year is huge. Avowed, Hellblade, Indiana Jones, Diablo expansion, potential Starfield expansion if it can make it this year. You've got Towerborn.
Yeah, Towerborn I'm excited about.
Call of Duty, if I didn't mention that already. So there's loads of games coming out that the June Showcase should... And I'm expecting some surprise shows as well for this year as well that we haven't seen to be announced. So there's a lot of games coming from Microsoft. The doom and gloom that's going around right now is a little oversaturated.
The internet thrives off of the negativity, right?
Of course.
I would say, like, my gut reaction to all of these things has been like, well, what the heck is going on? But then you step back and take a look and you're like, okay, business has to run. There are bad decisions, and not that the decision itself is bad. It's just a hard decision to make, but and it feels cold and unfeeling. But at the corporate level, like, things have to happen.
I feel like I've been eating great this year in terms of games, like with Enshrouded, with Power World, with No Rest for the Wicked. I enjoyed my time in the PAX Day Alpha, Final Fantasy 14 Dawn Trail, Power Bass is saying Visions of Mana. That's also coming out this year. I'm really looking forward to playing that. Delightful. Helldivers is great, and Chris missed out on all the drama last week about the Helldivers. Yeah, but still, it was just like
it was a minefield.
Exploded, and then all the radiation was removed and put in a bunker before I even got back. Like within 1 week, it was like Helldivers is done. It's honestly done in the ground. Well, it's not done.
I think Microsoft were hoping that ordeal was going to go even longer, so they could slip this in after the bank holiday.
All right, guys, release the bad news.
Yeah,
really, the gamers are distracted.
Oh, damn! What happened to Sony?
Yeah. Speaking of fun things, though, go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Brian.
No, I was gonna say, are you guys ready to play 20 questions before we wrap up the show, or is there anything else y'all want to talk about?
The only thing I was going to mention to Chris's point about slowing down Call of Duty, I do think that philosophy of how you treat your IPs is important, not just in gaming, but just in the creative world in general. I was a huge Star Wars fan. I read all the books. I love the movies. But now even you see Disney saying with Marvel and Star Wars, we need quality over quantity. And if we look at gaming, again, not to bring it back to Big Nintendo, but they do achieve that with their IPs. They treat their IPs in a way that they know, like, we have to bring quality and some type of innovation every way. And for me, like, I'm at a point where the only time I can justify buying something every year is usually freaking Madden, which I'm not proud of, but that's where I'm like, that can work.
But why is that not a subscription?
Exactly.
Why is that not I'm going to pay for this season and like
because everyone pays.
Frustrate me so much
because people like me that pay every year. It's my
fault. There you go.
But like, imagine if you had the ability to, like, a player gets injured and that affects your like play that week. If you want it to, you could have game modes that are pulling from live data.
It's very surprising that EA hasn't gone that route at all.
It's an opportunity.
Yeah, because you could sell a weekly like roster pack or something that would just reflect actual in-game stats every week, and that would
But-
make bank.
What about if you released it yearly and then sold a weekly roster bank?
Well, they could do that too. Don't give them ideas.
And
That's what
create
they're
even crazier stuff. Like
Mark's
at this
like,
point
"Where-
in the
this guy's
season, this
address.
person got injured in
I
this
need
year,
to
and
shut
I'm
him
gonna
up."
play.
The
I'm gonna play one team against the same team from 10
Yeah.
years ago, and let
The-
the injuries play out in the same order. It's
Mhm.
like
The-
you could do weird
Yeah.
stuff. It's made up.
The FIFA
Yeah.
thing is the most surprising thing because FIFA pulled the license and it was like, oh, what's going to happen with their soccer game? And it turns out
Absolutely
nothing. They
Nothing.
continue to crush. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
we've got this. It's like people are like, oh, FIFA is not associated with the brain anymore. No big deal. We'll
Not
just
associated with-
individually.
International political corruption.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really gonna hurt us.
I
Wow.
got to get my ultimate team. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
nothing.
And to that point, the Ultimate Team is the equivalent of that weekly roster payment, right? People spend a lot of money on those fantasy games. I don't touch that element of it, so I feel like ultimately, if they switch it
It
up,
totally does.
they might be losing money because they're already making $60-$70 a year on new game purchases plus
Oh,
all
yeah,
those
yeah.
microtransactions.
Yes,
And
financial
yeah.
advisor, don't touch it. Leave it alone.
I'm just
Yeah.
The
surprised
gamer
they
in me is
haven't.
like,
They
but it could be
had to
more
have
fun.
explored that route and go, okay, maybe it's not a good idea. You know, like they had to have at least considered it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Good final topic there. It was fun. We don't really get to talk about sports games here on the channel, but sports ball is still a major thing. You guys ready for some 20 questions?
yes.
Yeah.
All right. Floor is yours. Chaos being here on the show. You get the first question.
What is your most looked forward to game
Oh,
this year?
so 20 questions. You got to ask yes or no questions, and you're trying to guess the game. So I have a game that was released, and you need to ask yes or no questions to try and discern what this game is. And if you can do it in under 20 questions and under, you win.
Okay, so I ask a question and then you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay,
So yes,
yes or no.
you have to ask a yes or no question about like this game. For example, like was this released, after 2020 or something like that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Was this game on the Xbox One?
I would say yes through back compatibility.